What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Kamikaze. Hope you're having a phenomenal week. Today's Friday, a day before UFC 286, and we got a big card today or tomorrow. Not as big as the John Jones pay-per-view card, but that thing was a whole nother animal. That card had so many big names on that card, and yeah, we got we got a good one in London, the O2 Arena. It's gonna be loud, and I love like that Patty Pimblett one, the O2 one last year. That place was rocking. And I got Leon Edwards, Uzma, the Trilogy fight. Whoever wins this gets all bragging rights to anything, to be honest, and they get to prove their point. It's gonna be exciting. That arena is gonna be packed. It's gonna be loud. And just for watching it from your home, man, you can just feel that energy. I really want to go to a London card one day. And yeah, let's get right into this prediction video, and let's get right into it. Let's get started. This fight card is pretty solid. Not as big as the John Jones pay-per-view card, but John Jones's card was absolutely stacked. But this one has Miller from the Ultimate Fighter. Was there Peña's on Peña's team? She's a champion on that one. She's making her debut. And you got JoJo coming off of a loss from Grasso. I think that was like a year ago. And Grasso is now the UFC flyweight champion after upsetting Valentina Shevchenko. You got Muhammad, who has submitted multiple people in the first round. Very, very talented prospect right there. Number 12. I didn't even know that, to be honest. I didn't know he was ranked. But he's number 12. And you got the main card. Vittori, Casey O'Neill, Brian, the highlight reel, the Matrix. And then you got the trilogy fight, Leon Edwards and Uzma. The main card is very, very good. And yeah, let's get right into it. Let's get into the predictions. My first fight to look out for is JoJo and Caroline. JoJo is coming off a 3-fight losing streak, and Caroline's coming off of very crazy knockout by Meatball Molly, a spinning elbow in the O2 arena. So I guess hopefully she could, change her memories of the O2 arena. But JoJo, she's lost to Grasso, who is now the champion of her division. She's lost to Murphy, that was a title eliminator fight. And the third one, I don't know who she lost to. Oh my goodness, who she lose to? Let me go check. Uh, she has lost to. Oh, she beat Jessica I, so she's not on a 3-fight losing streak. She beat Jessica I before she fought against, what's her name, Alexis, and then she fought Alexis. So she lost against Santos. That's the person I was thinking of. She lost against Santos, who's literally number 2 in that division. She lost against Murphy, who is a top 10 person, and then Alexa Grasso, who is now the champion. Those are all killers right there. All killers. Jessica Ai's a pretty solid fighter. She always puts up a fight every time she fights, but she beat her. And yeah, JoJo, she's 37 years old as well. And I don't want to say it should be a tough fight, but she's 37 years old, so that's a big question to go into the fight thinking of, as someone trying to predict a fight. But looking at the people that JoJo has fought, she definitely has the advantage. Because Caroline, she's legitimately got knocked clean out by Meatball Molly, which was a phenomenal move by Meatball Molly. But that is a very scary knockout. So all in all, my prediction, you know who I'm going with, JoJo. She's 37 years old, but she's still a really good fighter. She's lost to big time fighters, and yeah. So I'm gonna go with JoJo with a unanimous decision. I don't think she's gonna knock Caroline out, even though she probably has a questionable chin because of how bad that knockout was. Like, how do you recover from that? But I see her just what's the card? How do I say it? I just see her like just going off on her, just kicking the legs, hitting the body, doing all that stuff to her. I don't see her hitting that final blow, you know, that knockout shot. I don't see her hitting that shot. I just see her going off on her and just being completely dominant against Caroline. And I don't know if she will prove that hey, she still belongs in the UFC, or not necessarily in the UFC, but like as a top contender, because this is definitely a step down for her from all those other fights to fighting Caroline now. It's definitely a step down, but she's gonna win by a big time dominant fight for her. The next fight I want to talk about is Muhammad Makav and Jafel Filo, who's Brazilian, and he's from the Dana White Contender Series. Uh, I don't believe I watched them fight because I did watch the Contender Series the year he came out, but I don't believe I watched this fight. But he's fighting against Muhammad. I mean, he has to be really good, right? Muhammad is literally 12th rank. He's super young, hot prospect. Again, submitted guys first round and all that stuff. To be putting Philo, I apologize for saying his name wrong, but putting him against Muhammad, he must be really good. I mean, looking at the statistics that they have on the UFC website, he has a 100% takedown defense. The only guy that I've seen have that is literally Jose Aldo to have that much of a takedown defense. But he is, a fresh guy coming off the Dana White Contender Series. So how would that stand against a guy who is number 12th rank, Muhammad, who is gonna take him down? That's his game plan, to take him down and submit him. And Muhammad, he's coming off, I think a decision win. It wasn't a pretty fight for Muhammad. It was most definitely one of his weaker fights, and I believe it was in the O2 arena as well. But he's still on a 9-fight win streak, or he's 9-0. I mean, not a win streak. I mean, it should be a win streak. He's 9-0. He has all the confidence right now. He's 22 years old, and yeah, it's just crazy. Crazy, crazy guy. 22 years old with a 9-0 record, submitting guys left and right. And my prediction for this fight is Muhammad. I'm gonna go with a second round submission. I don't think he's gonna be able to take down. I already forgot his name. I apologize. I don't think he'll be able to take his opponent down in the first round, or not as effective as he wants to. But in the second round, I believe he will get it done, and he will submit him. Now the question is like, what happens if he can't take him down? Then that's a really scary question, or a scary outcome for him. But I believe he'll be able to take him down and submit him, and I think it'll be in the second round. All right, the next fight that is must see or must watch is the highlight reel versus the Matrix. I don't know why in the UFC, like, what do you call it, like records or whatever, their website, it didn't say I mean, I understand why the Matrix, you would have to pay a decent amount of money to have that nickname, but that's how I know Raphael is the Matrix, and you got the highlight reel and Justin Gaethje. So this one's gonna be a banger. It really is. This fight is like, you can't miss it. You literally can't. Raphael, he literally has so many highlights. Just just not just as much as Gaethje, but pretty similar amount to Gaethje. But Gaethje's been in this game for so long, and it's crazy that there's only 1 year difference in them. I thought it would be like 3 to 4 year age gap, but it's a 1 year age gap between them. That's crazy. You can see the amount of fights, 24 to 12 victories. That's just crazy. Just Gaethje, he's coming off a 3-fight losing streak. He's been fighting against absolute killers. He lost to Khabib, and that was in Dubai. He got submitted in the first round, and then the next one was who? Well, not a loss streak. I put losing streak. Oh, I am wild. I am wild. Why did I put that? He beat Michael Chandler. So he lost against Khabib, and then he lost to, was it Oliveira? He lost to Oliveira, and then he beat Chandler, right? That's how it went. Why did how did I my apologies. How did I put that? Like, what the heck? He beat Michael Chandler. It was a very, was that fight of the year? It had to be fight of the year, right? Very crazy fight that was. And you got Rafael the Matrix. Um he's on a win streak. He's the one that's been, I mean, he has been knocking people out, but he has also been winning by decision. Last fight he fought was against Rafael dos Anjos, and Rafael dos Anjos is no joke. And he knocked him out in the fifth round or the fourth round. Very good fight that was, but not as good as the Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje. And yeah, both guys, this round, someone's getting knocked out. Let's just be real. Someone's getting knocked out. It's just crazy to me that there's one age gap, to be honest. But yeah, someone's getting knocked out, and my pick is gonna be, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Rafael Fiziev. Was a first round knockout, and I keep bringing this up. The age thing to me is crazy because Justin Gaethje just seems a little older, like, and it's just because of the wars that he's been through. He's been through so many bloody battles, and he doesn't care. He likes that stuff, and so does Rafael. But or Fiziev, I think Fiziev's better to say. Fiziev likes that too, but you could definitely see the war that Gaethje has been through, the wars that Gaethje has been through, are taking a toll. And you can for sure see it in the Oliveira fight where a jab was rocking Gaethje. And I know, Oliveira has power, like you can't sleep on him, but a jab was rocking Gaethje, And he I'm trying to figure out, was the Oliveira fight first or was the Chandler fight first? I think the Chandler fight was first, right? Yeah, the Chandler fight was first. So I think the Chandler fight messed up Gaethje big time because Chandler hits like a truck, and then he went into the Oliveira fight and got blasted on the feet and got submitted. But I'm going Rafael because, like I'm talking about right now, I think Gaethje is just his time is his time's up, man. I just think that, and Rafael, he's on a win streak. He's hot, not like looking, but what he's feeling, his confidence level is at an all-time high right now. And he's just gonna go out there and do his matrix stuff, and he just gotta hit Gaethje a couple times. I don't want to thrash Gaethje's chin because he took a decent amount of challenge shots, but it's just like, so I'm going Rafael to see. I mean, I am kind of thrashing him because I'm saying first round knockout, but yeah, Rafael Deceive or Fiziev, first round knockout. It's gonna be a crazy first round, but I just see Gaethje's chin being questioned big time now, and maybe people will call him to retire. I think after this fight. And the next fight is my bad. It is actually fights that I'm gonna be talking about. It's not a certain one. This will be the prelim fights that I'm gonna predict, and it's not the whole prelim. It's gonna be five of them, and I am missing Miller because I accidentally cut her out somehow, some way. I did. My apologies. And yeah, so Miller and all these guys are the fights that guys and girls that I'm gonna predict. And let's get right into it. My predictions for the first prelims of London. So I know you guys can see Miller. Let's just pretend that she's below, and I'm gonna say Miller. She's literally got a Nate Diaz type of chin, very good condition. She's pretty solid at jiu-jitsu, and I believe she's gonna win her debut, her UFC debut in London. And I actually want to watch that fight. To be honest, it's very early, so I might get to watch her fight. So I'm gonna say submission first round, and then I'm gonna go Herbert. And the reason why I'm going Herbert is because he fought. I think literally the last time he fought was against Tapore, who Tapore is a straight beast. That man has power, and the guy could wrestle. You know, he beat Bryce Mitchell last time. Tapore and Herbert, he was doing pretty good against Tapore. He's very tall, and he has pretty solid power, but he just got caught. He literally just got caught. Tapore got him against the fence and just hit him. He just caught him, dude. And then Joanna, I already said that I was going Joanna, and I said by a dominant victory, just going all 3 rounds, dominating Caroline. And then Murphy, I don't know much about the guy he's fighting, so I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna pick him because I've seen a couple of his fights, and he's a pretty solid fighter. So I'm going Murphy with that one. And then Muhammad is another fight that I predict, and I said, what is it, a second round submission. So yeah, so those are my prelim fights, all on the left side apparently. I did not do that on purpose or try to, be like, oh, I'm gonna pick everybody on the left side. That's just how it happened. That's crazy. And let's move on to the main card. Alright, this main card is pretty solid. You got Mario Victoria versus Raman Daize, and Victoria's coming off a loss from Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker completely dominated Vittori, just tore him apart. And then Roman, he was the card. He's coming off a victory of Jack Hermanson. I believe he submitted him. And he's known for being a stand-up fighter as well, but he submitted um, Hermanson. And then Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill. That was a pretty solid fight, 8 versus 12. Casey is a uppercomer. She's very young, 25 years old. Maia's more of a veteran type of fighter. Ranked number 8 still though. And then Gunnar Nelson, you know, the is he an OG? I'm gonna say he's an OG. I don't know. And then Brian Burr. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm sorry. But Brian, he's coming off of a victory over Robert Lawler, I believe his last fight was, and he's taking a short notice fight against Gunnar Nelson. So that one should be a pretty solid, back and forth. Brian is more of a stand-up fighter, and I believe Gunnar Nelson is. I mean, he kind of invented the Conor McGregor stuff, no? And then Justin Gaethje, the highlight reel, the highlight machine, Rafael Fiziev, the Matrix. It could be a phenomenal fight, back and forth. Someone's getting knocked down in that one. And they got the trilogy fight, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. Man, I can't wait for that, man. It's gonna be a really, really good fight card right here. And let's get on to my predictions for this UFC 286. Is it 286? I don't know. But in London, O2 Arena, it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be packed. Let's get into the predictions. Let's go. All right. Starting off with the Victoria versus Roman. I'm gonna go with Roman, who I believe is the underdog against Vittori. And I just think Roman is more a complete fighter than Vittori, you know? Vittori has this crimson chin, bro. He literally has a granite chin. Where Robert Whitaker hit him with some nasty shots. I believe he only got rocked like once, and he got hit a lot in that fight. And he's the type of fighter that's gonna pursue you at all times, chase the takedown, punch you with a jab, and yeah, I think that's all he could do. That's literally his game. That's his style. That's what he does. Is rush you, not necessarily rush you, but come at you with a jab and tries to take you down. You know, and I think Roman is more of a strategic fighter, an all-around built who could stand up with you and take you to the ground and submit you. You know, he's really fluid on the ground game, and he showed that in the Hermanson game where he was able to reverse Hermanson's top mount. It's gonna be very hard to do that against Vittori because of how huge Victoria is, and I really think that's the advantage that Marvin has because he's such a big guy. Like once he gets that mount on you, you could chalk it up essentially. But with Roman, you can never know. He could escape from the back door or something like that, you know. Someone goes Roman. I didn't really think about like what round or like a knockout or anything like that. I think it's gonna be if anything, it's gonna be a submission. But I think it's gonna be a third round split decision. Roman. Oh man, it's a tough one. Because if it goes to a split decision, I think Marvin will win. Because his output is literally gonna win him the fight, and he just throws a lot of punches. And Roman, he's probably gonna hit him with harder shots, but damage trumps quantity. So hopefully Roman wins if it does go to decision, and if it doesn't, I believe it'll be a submission with Roman in the third round. So I'm gonna say third round submission, Roman. All right, Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill, and I believe this is I don't want to say passing the torch, but like just to get. I believe she said this too that she wants to fight like experienced like champion fighters. I believe she said that in one of her interviews a while back when she was coming back from injury, where she was hurt and she was like, "Oh, I want to find that card," something like that. I believe she was like, "Oh, I want to fight against champion experienced fighters," and here she goes right here, Jennifer Maia. She's a win. I want to say, uh, like I like Casey O'Neill, but I don't remember her fights. I'm gonna be real. I know her like stand up is kind of funky, cause I seen, obviously little highlights and clips that they show. Her stand up is she's only a 1 point favorite. I just realized that. What the heck? That is crazy. She's a 1 point favorite. I thought she would be a 3 point favorite. So Casey O'Neill for me. I'm gonna say by damn. I didn't really think about these fights, so I'm kind of going off the rip right here. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go second round submission. I'm gonna go second round. Jennifer Maia, is she good at the ground, bro? This is gonna be a stand up battle, bro. Oh man, I'm gonna say NA. I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'm gonna just say Casey O'Neill wins. I don't really know how, but she's gonna win. And then Brian, he's the 3 point underdog against Gunnar Nelson. Short notice fight for him, and uh, he couldn't put away Robbie Lawler, but Lawler is a tough guy. And the only reason why Lawler doesn't win is because he doesn't use his hands that much when he throws. He gets a little gun shy. And Brian, I don't know. I just like what I saw from the robbery. Right, that was his last fight. I might be tripping, dude, because I've been wrong a lot in this little thing. Robbie Lawler was his last fight, right? Oh my god, no, he got submitted by the Sanchos, bro. Oh no. That was a time. Oh yeah, I didn't watch that card. Yeah, I didn't watch that card. Yeah, that Robbie Lawler fight was super long time ago. he got submitted though by the Sanchez. This will be a stand-up game, so yeah. Again, I don't know how he's gonna win, but I picked him. Rafael Fiziev already said he's gonna get a first round knockout against Gaethje, and he's a 2-point favorite. I didn't know that either. That's crazy. And then obviously Usman's a 2-point favorite because Leon Edwards. Again, you can make the case that he wasn't winning at all. I mean, I believe it's a fact. It's a fact, right? That Leon Edwards was getting dominated. He was getting bullied out there. He was getting bullied by Usman, and Usman was cruising in the last round, and when you cruise, you get caught. He was trying not to get hit, and he got hit. So I actually didn't have a prediction when I was making this, because I didn't watch their fight, the Leon Edwards Usman number 2. I watched the first one, but I didn't watch the number 2 because I was working that day. So I went to go watch it, and I had my prediction. I watched the first one. I watched the second one. I did my research, and I'm very happy that I did. And we're going to talk about it right now. I have a whole segment about him, and let's get right into that. Man, Usman versus Edwards. Like I said, I barely watched both of their fights, the first one and the second one. And before I watched them, I was like, man, I don't really care about Usman and Edwards, fight, their main event card. I honestly just want to watch the Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. But then I watched their first fight, I was like, okay. Then I watched the second one, I was just like, wow. Now I can't wait to watch how this third one goes down. It's crazy. So in the first fight, Usman, I don't want to say dominated, but his clinch game for sure was very, very, very impactful in the main fight. And then Leon's stand up in the first fight was he was better than Usman. He was hitting Usman. Usman was trying to hit Leon, but majority of the time he was unsuccessful. But Usman would just mold him in the first one. Then the second one kind of was looking exactly the same, where Usman in the clinch was just going ham on him. He was hitting him in the body. He was going up top. He was hitting elbows on him, taking him down. In the first one, Usman didn't do that. He kind of was just holding him against the fence. And that was really basically it. That was the only difference between the first one and the second one. And then obviously the knockout victory by Edwards. But I want to say how. Oh, I don't know how I should do this. Let's talk about how Edwards could win this fight. Because from the standpoint, Edwards was losing the whole second fight against Usman. Usman was mauling him against the cage. He was clinching against him. Again, hit him in the body, hit him on the top, hitting him with elbows, and taking him down. He was mixing all that up, and Edwards didn't have an answer to it. And into the fifth round, when Usman said, "Oh, I had to have a victory," it was 2 minutes left, because he was doing what he was doing the whole fight, was taking him down against the fence and stuff like that. But it was 2 minutes left. Usman started cruising, and Leon Edwards just took advantage, completely took advantage. And you definitely see in the fifth round. In the fifth round, Edwards was like, "Okay, you're just gonna, you know." He literally was calculating every single thing that Usman was doing, was the 4 minutes or 3 minutes that Usman gave him when they were just standing in the middle of the octagon. He was downloading everything that Usman was doing. He's like, all right. And then boom, he landed his head kick that he literally routine he trained for. He's like, that's why he kept saying headshot. That's what he trained for. And that's what he was doing. He was like, all right, how can I set this up? Let me set this up, Get you to buy on the leg kicks. Let me get you to bite on the body shots and all that stuff, you know, that jab. But how can Leon Edwards? He is a 2-point underdog. How can he beat Usman? Well, I think he really could beat Usman, man. I really do believe that. He could beat Usman by obviously not getting taken down. How do you stop that? Don't get against the fence. Don't go against the fence. Usman kept taking him down against the fence. Once Edwards had his back against the fence, all he has is a counter punch that he can very much land. He can land a counter punch knockout if Usman, you know, if he times it perfectly. That's all it is right there. If he could time a right hand when he's against the fence, he could knock out Usman. He can knock out Usman with a counter right when he's against the fence. But he can't be against the fence because that will essentially rewrite history again. Or repeat history, not rewrite. Repeat history of what has happened the past 2 fights, you know? But I believe he was doing... going back against the fence was because he was tired. He was tired. He didn't want to waste his energy. He saved it up for the fourth and fifth. You could see in the fourth round, he had that little spark, and then Usman took him down, and then he was done for that round. And then the fifth round, he gave it all he had. But in the in the second fight, he realistically got tired in the second round, and you could see it on his face when he went to the stool. He was like, "Damn, all that hard work of whatever they were doing," because they were saying he was like, "Oh, he was using this to prepare for the Colorado height, you know, the altitude." But you can't prepare for the height unless you're training in the altitude, you know. It's a whole nother beast to be, you know, using something to represent the altitude, or it's just gonna be harder to be in the altitude. Oh my gosh. He got tired in the second round. That's all I want to say. That he got tired in the second round. And when Leon Edwards literally says, "I beat him on my worst night," I truly believe that. I truly believe that that is true. Like when I was watching the press conference, because I watched the press conference and then I watched the fight. I was like, bro, I was like, what is this man talking about, bro? Saying that on his worst night he beat Usman. But then you watch the tape, that was his worst night. It really was. But again, how does he win? He could use a counter right against the fence to knock out Usman. Or he needs to keep the fight in the center of the octagon. If he keeps the fight in the center of the octagon, I truly believe in his takedown defense that Usman can't take him down. Like he can't shoot and just grab his legs. Because if he shoots and grabs his legs, he's in threat of he's putting himself at a threat of a knee or uppercut and stuff like that. Now, is Leon Edwards powerful enough to, you know, hit an uppercut and knock him out? No, he's not, but a knee is capable of knocking Usman out, you know? And this is definitely not on high altitude. So Usman's definitely going to have the conditioning, but Edwards shouldn't be tired until at least round 5 or 4, you know, championship rounds. Unless he gives up the first round and stuff like that, you know? Oh, man. I wrote like stuff down as I was watching the tape. I'm kind of like, that's all I want to go over. That Edwards can knock out Usman with a counter right against the cage, and I believe he could stop Usman's takedown in the center of the octagon. Now, how can Usman win? Usman can win by, again, repeating what he has done the past 2 fights, except in the 5th round. Is by getting Leon against the cage. And like I said, he could get counter shot a counter shot. But if he just needs to spam takedowns, bro. Take take oh what Edwards jiu-jitsu too. You can't sleep on that, man. He took Usman down. Like he legitimately took Usman down in the second fight. And again, when I heard that he took him down or saw a little clip, I thought he got lucky. But if you watch the tape, like the real, was it the first round? He legitimately took Usman down. You know. So that he could take Usman down in the clinch if he's clinched up with, and I think that's what he could do as well. He can't clinch with Usman against the cage, but he could clinch Usman in the center of the octagon. But again, he's at risk of getting taken down, but he could take Usman down and probably submit him with his jiu-jitsu, because again, you can't sleep on Edwards' jiu-jitsu. He could do that. He submitted people with that stuff, you know? And then for Usman, just get him into the clinch against the fence, take him down, and just keep taking him down. Get him tired and like that, you know? And then he cannot be in the center of the octagon. He can't. And the thing that worries me about Usman right now, and it's probably given, you know, what do you call it? Spoiling who I'm going to pick, is that Usman said, oh, I want to, in the press conference, oh, not in the press conference, in the the little series that they have, Embedded. And Embedded, he's like, oh, you know, you have that feeling when you just want to beat someone up, like the blood boiling. And like once that case closes, you just want to go in and just take care of business. And he was saying he had that feeling against Covington the first time they fought, against Mazarov the second time they fought, and then someone else, I forgot who it was. So I rewatched the Mazarov fight to see, you know, because he knocks Mazarov out. And I was like, all right, let's see how he fights in the Mazarov fight. In the in the Mazarov fight, my throat is absolutely destroyed right now. It's crazy. Because he's probably gonna repeat what he did against Mazarov to Leon Edwards. And I would say it does have its positives and it has its negatives to it. And the negative is, or what he did in the Mazarov fight is that he was throwing hooks on him. He was throwing hooks. He was feinting with the jab and throwing the hook over, and it was landing on Mazarov. Mazarov wasn't, you know, he didn't have a guard. He literally was just getting punched in the face multiple times in the first round. He threw the same punch to knock him out for like 3 times in the first round. And the second round, he threw everything into it, and it knocked Mazarov clean out. And like I said, it has positives and negatives to how that fight style that he had against Mazarov was a super aggressive. He went for no takedowns. The only takedown that he got on that fight was literally because Mazarov did some stupid shit and jumped into Usman's hands, and Usman's like, okay, I'll take you down. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because is Usman gonna take Edwards down? I mean, he should take him down, right? But he's saying that this is the time, or this is a fight that he doesn't want to dominate. He wants to finish this guy. He wants to show like the Covington one, when they just like the Covington versus Usman one, they literally just stood there and banged, you know. I think he broke his jaw in the first one, no. And then Mazarov, he stood there. He didn't go for any takedowns, and he knocked out Mazarov. Now, if he goes in with the same fighting style that he did against Mazarov, it could probably work because Leon Edwards has that same weakness. If you watch his tape against Nate Diaz, Nate Diaz hit him with the straight hook over the top or off the side or whatever, and it completely rocked Leon Edwards. If y'all remember that, I mean, you guys should. That literally was the highlight of that fight. And even though Leon was whooping Nate Diaz's ass, Nate Diaz almost knocked him out in the last like minute of the fight. So he could use that same method in theory to knock out Leon Edwards. But Usman's boxing is not the same skill level as Nate Diaz. It's just not. So if he throws those combinations, he leaves himself completely open to be countershot. And Leon Edwards is a phenomenal counter puncher. So if Usman goes with that same method that he used against Mazarov and Covington, who is the Usman that just stands there, or not stands there, that's gonna stand there and bang with him, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose. If he stands in the center of the octagon for too long, he's just gonna lose because Leon Edwards is just too much of a calculated puncher. He's too accurate in his punches. I think that's all I gotta say, to be honest. Kind of rambled on all this stuff, but oh man, is that what I think that is all I want to say. Now I hope he doesn't fight like he did against Mazarov, number 2, and Covington, number 1. Because if he does, he's gonna lose, big time. So my prediction is, I kind of spoiled it a little bit, but my prediction is Leon Edwards, fourth round TKO. At first I was going Usman, bro. I thought Usman was gonna go in there and dominate him, bro. But I watched the tape, man. Leon Edwards did phenomenal this first round. He got gassed in the second round. He looked completely defeated because he knew that he was tired. He was getting dominated, and all that stuff, you know. And I just think he has multiple ways of winning, you know. Because if Usman does what he does, which is getting Leon Edwards against the cage, clinching up, hitting him with all those shots, Leon Edwards has that opportunity to catch him, dude, with that right hand. And Leon Edwards is gonna be fresh, dude. He's gonna be fresh, in like, I mean, as much as he throws, you know. So if he takes like the first round off and stuff like that, but he's gonna have opportunities to counter Usman more than he had in the second round or in the second fight. And his jiu-jitsu, bro, he could legitimately take Usman down, and his jiu-jitsu game's no joke, you know. I just that's all I really gotta say. I think Edwards has multiple ways of winning, where Usman has only one pass of winning, you know. And that one pass, he could get knocked out again, you know. I don't think Usman could stand. I mean, you all should know that Usman can't stand with Leon. He can't, unless that one trick does work, the trick that he used against Mazarov, which Nate Diaz used against Leon Edwards. But I don't think Usman has that skill of boxing. Or not Leon Usman. I don't think Usman has the skill of boxing to be able to throw a slick combo, you know, like that. Because when he throws like a bunch of wild punch in the Mazarov fight, he threw a bunch of wild punches, and it's like if he does that against Leon, Leon's just gonna counter him, boom boom, you know. So I just think that this is how it's gonna go. Fourth round knockout. Leon Edwards has multiple ways of winning, where Usman has one, and that's taking him down, clinching with him, taking him down, clinching with him, taking him down. That's how Usman wins, if anything. Goodbye. I hope you all enjoyed this little. I mean, it's not little. It's for like 40 minutes or something like that. I apologize for that. I felt like it was be a little faster, but I kind of got a little too too much rambling or too much just straight talking about the Uzma fight, which is okay because it is a really big fight. It's a trilogy fight. This would be a good one. I don't believe it's gonna be a one-sided affair like how it's been the past couple of fights. I think it's gonna be a really entertaining fight. And I want to apologize for my My throat, bro. My throat literally kind of gave out towards the end too, and yeah. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Hopefully my record stays really good or stands. Hopefully I get my picks right. What are your guys' picks? Let me know in the comments. And what fight are you most excited to watch? Because this fight card is pretty good. We have pretty good fights in it. Usman, Gaethje. Which one are you more anticipating? Which one can you not wait to watch? And again, this fight is in London, so in US time, it's gonna be a pretty early one. I believe the fight card legitimately starts. The main card starts at 2 o'clock, and that's Western time. And I'm gonna be honest, I want to go to a London card, like O2 Arena in London. That thing's loud as hell, dude. I love like what they chant. Like I just want to be part of that. I want to see that. Hopefully I get to experience that. Hopefully you guys enjoy this fight card, and hopefully you guys have a really good weekend. And hopefully, nah, just kidding. So have a good weekend. Enjoy the fights, and we'll make a review video off of UFC 286. Hopefully there's something crazy like the John Jones one. We can get a crazy upset. I mean, there really is no like big time underdog to be honest. To be honest, like Grasso was literally like a 5 point underdog or something like that, and I think the lowest is literally what's his name, Brian. I think he's a 3 point underdog. But like that's that's like whatever. So hopefully you guys have a phenomenal weekend, and I can't wait for that fight card or that fight. Peace, guys.